Hi, my name is Cheryl. For those of you that don't know me or follow my channel, I'm a mom of a 19-month-old boy. His name is Kai, and I'm going to share with you my vegan pregnancy story. Okay, so to begin, I returned from the big island of Hawaii after being there for 3 months, and I found out I was pregnant. I had all the usual symptoms: the swollen breasts, the acne, heartburn, missed my period 3 or 4 times. So all those signs were there. I returned, and the first thing I did was booked an appointment with my doctor. I had the appointment, and I found out I was already 8 weeks pregnant. Now, it wasn't too bad when I found out, because I am really straight edge. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, I don't even take legal drugs like Tylenol or Advil or anything. So in that aspect, I wasn't worried at all. The pregnancy came as a really big shock, though. My husband and I had been struggling with infertility for 9 years. We were in the adoption process for 6, so to find out we were having a baby was really, really surprising. So I had an appointment with my doctor to confirm the pregnancy, and I was in fact pregnant. He also hooked me up with an OBGYN that I would be seeing shortly. In the meantime, I had the usual ultrasound, and in that first ultrasound, I found out that I was 8 weeks pregnant and that Kai would be due November 11th, 2016. So I knew right away that I would have to get a good prenatal vitamin, and one that was also vegan. So I did a little bit of research on the internet, and I ended up taking Vitamin Crode raw prenatals. I also took some B12, I had DHA, Digestive Enzymes, Probiotics, Spirulina, and Chlorella. Those were my go-tos for when I was pregnant. They were all confirmed by my OBGYN. She said they were fine to take. The Spirulina is a Hawaiian Spirulina. I can give you the brand name in the comments below, as well as the other prenatals I took. So prior to becoming pregnant, I was very active, very fit. I had competed in some kettlebell competitions. I was big into running. I had done some tough mutters. So I knew going into this pregnancy, I still was going to be active. I talked to it about my OBGYN, and she, of course, said I could still continue to work out, just, with common sense. Don't run too hard, don't lift too heavy. So that's exactly what I did. I still ran 3-4 times a week. I didn't run as hard or as heavy. I was pretty much walking, so I'd run a little bit and then walk. I ran up to 33 weeks. I was 33 weeks pregnant when I decided I could not run anymore. I lifted the entire pregnancy until the day Kai was born. I was lifting way lighter than I normally did, like 15, 20 pounds was my go-to. I went for a hike the day I was pregnant also, so just do what makes your body feel good and what you know will not cause harm to the baby. In terms of food, I ate super healthy when I was pregnant, and I generally do anyways, but I ate a lot of smoothies and bowls and salads and kale. I continued to eat really spicy food. Probably why Kai had the hiccups so much when I was pregnant. That's pretty much the way I knew Kai was okay, was he almost always had the hiccups. In terms of likes and dislikes, I absolutely loved white potatoes when I was pregnant, which, being not pregnant, they're okay. I also really enjoyed spicy jerk asparagus. I couldn't get enough of it. As dislikes, I hated sweet potatoes, which I normally love sweet potatoes. I could not stomach the smell, the taste. I also enjoyed smoothie bowls, acai bowls in particular. But we put raisins in a few times in the granola, and I found out the raisins left this metal taste in my mouth. So I continued eating those smoothies. I just took out the raisins. I didn't crave anything sweet. I wasn't into ice cream or donuts like most pregnant women are. But I don't normally eat that stuff, so I don't know if that was just the reason why. In terms of overall health for my pregnancy, I felt pretty good most of the pregnancy. The first trimester was hard. I was pretty exhausted, but that's normal, so I didn't really think anything of it. I had heartburn throughout the pregnancy, and prior to pregnancy, I'd never had heartburn. But I mean, it wasn't too bad. It happened mostly at night. I didn't swell at all. I had no swelling. I gained about 40 pounds. I was all belly though. I mean, every woman carries differently, and I understand that, but for me, it was just in my stomach. I had no morning sickness at all. I never felt sick. I felt pretty good. I still did a lot of the same things I did prior to pregnancy. I just did them differently. The only thing that really bothered me was in the 3rd trimester. I had a really bad leg cramps to the point that I couldn't sleep because my legs hurt so bad. But again, that's normal, so I wasn't concerned. I did get diagnosed towards the end with strep B, but that's very common in most pregnant women. It's a healthy bacteria, it's just not healthy for the baby. So when I was to give birth, they would have to treat me for strep B. So all my prenatal visits went really well. The baby was developing normally. He was healthy, his heart rate was good, he was gaining the appropriate amount of weight, I was gaining the proper amount of weight, I was good, so everything was great there. I was never concerned at any of my appointments. So labor and delivery. My water broke 2 weeks early and I had to go right to the hospital because of strep B. They told me I needed to go as soon as my water broke in. So it broke 2 weeks early. Kai was born October 29th, 2016. I had a pretty easy labor. I had what they classify as the boring labor. No complications. Everything went smooth. I was in labor for about 13 hours. I did it all natural, pain-free, no epidural, which was what I wanted. But I mean, you never know how it's going to go. So I wouldn't beat yourself up if you have an epidural, and I completely understand why people do. For being born 2 weeks early, Kai was still a really good weight. He was 6 pounds and 13 ounces, and he came out fully screaming, so I knew he was okay. The only problem I had when delivering was I had to have an episiotomy. Episiotomy, if you don't know, is when they have to cut the vaginal opening wider to allow room for the baby, because Kai kept getting stuck, and they just didn't want to tear, because tearing is worse. So I had that done, and it did add on a little more to the recovery time, and it was painful after, but during, I didn't even think about it. They said, we're going to do this, you're not going to feel it, and at that time, I didn't feel a thing. I was cracking jokes. So really, if you have to have episiotomy, try not to be scared. It was really not too bad. No, I do know that I was really one of the really lucky ones, because my labor was so normal compared to other women. Because I know a lot of women have C-sections or complications, or I can't even fathom stillborns. I can't imagine not having my child in my life. So I'm very, very thankful that my labor was considered boring. Yeah, I mean, contractions hurt, of course, and giving birth was by far the most painful thing I've ever experienced, but I'm just happy everything turned out okay. Okay, so these are my secrets to having an easy labor and delivery. I don't know if they're actually true, but for me, these worked. So dates. I read somewhere that if you ate a lot of dates, you would have an easier transition into labor. So I, by the end, ate a ton of dates. I don't know if that's what helped or if I was just meant to have this easy labor, but that's just something I did. Also a birth plan. I know a lot of women have birth plans, and that's okay. I debated having a birth plan throughout my pregnancy, but in the end, just thinking about it stressed me out, so I just went with it. I knew that I wanted natural, I knew that I wanted vaginal, but I knew that doesn't always happen. It doesn't go as planned, and your birth plan is sometimes thrown right up the window because things happen. I just think it makes it easier if you don't have one. If you want to have a birth plan, I say go with it. It's your decision. So music. I was told you could bring in your own music for labor and delivery, so I knew right away what music I wanted and that it would be in the room with me because it would help calm me down. So actually, the night before I went into labor with Kai, we downloaded all the music I wanted, which was kind of funny because we thought we had more time. Anyways, the music I had a lot of slacky guitar Hawaiian music, and I had Nako and Medicine for the People, which is also a band from the Big Island, Hawaii. It makes me feel happy, it calms me down, and for me, it really helped in the delivery room. I also am a Buddhist, and I do meditate a lot. So for me, when I was having contractions, that meditation helps so much. And you don't have to be Buddhist to do it. Anyone can meditate. So when I would have a contraction, I would just think about the suffering of all other animals and all other humans. and I would wish to end their suffering, for their minds to be happy and to be peaceful. And that took my mind off on how much pain I was in, and it really seemed to help. I'd say it helps to have people in the room that you feel comfortable with. So at the hospital I was at, I could have 2 people in the room with me. Basically your spouse and a family member or friend or whatever. So I had my husband Steve, of course, and I had my best friend Joanna. And I could not have picked better people. I am so happy that they were both in the room with me. They both did so amazing, and they both helped to keep me super calm and relaxed, and I couldn't have asked for better people to be in the room with me. Also, fear. I know everyone has their own fears. For me, it's driving. I'm slowly learning to drive. I've been terrified my entire life. And some women, it's having a baby. For me, I never really had that fear. Even when I was 8-9 months pregnant, I was never scared of having a baby or the pain. I also have a really high pain tolerance, so I don't know, I just wasn't worried about it. It was just something that never crossed my mind. I thought to myself, I know it's going to hurt. I know it's going to be the worst pain I've ever felt in my life, but I just have to deal with it. I mean, so I did, and it helped me so much, because if I had stressed about it, I don't know, I feel like it would have been worse. So I know it's not an easy thing to say, and I know it is scary, and I know it's painful, but it really helps to have a calm, peaceful mind when you're going to have a baby. So flash forward to the present. Kai is 19 months old. He is one of the happiest babies I've ever seen. We try and show that to him. We try and remain calm and positive, and there's not a lot of yelling in our house. There's not a lot of anger, so I think that works for us, and I think it works for Kai. He's very healthy. He hasn't been sick too much. I mean, he's had, the odd cold, but he's been pretty good. I've never exposed him to any sort of drugs. He's never had Tylenol. He's never had anything. He's a really good eater. He loves everything I give him. He eats sushi. He eats seaweed. I mean, vegan sushi. He eats seaweed. He eats vegetables and fruit. And he loves kale chips. And he loves green smoothies. And he's just all around a happy, healthy, smart little boy. And I couldn't be happier. I really couldn't imagine my life without him. So I'm going to end the video here. I hope this helped. If there's anything else you want to know, just leave a comment and I will answer you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.